The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our third episode of our Mage Magic City Memoirs Chronicle. I am the Ravenous Harkon. I'll be your storyteller this evening. And before we jump into our recap, let's have everybody introduce themselves and their characters.
Hi, everybody. I am Mom McStabber, and I am playing Sylvia Carson Abbott, a Hollowed One Gaunt.
What's up, everyone? I'm Evie Eternal, and I'll be playing Eden Whitlock, who is a Verbena Witch.
Hey everybody, I'm Antera, and I'm playing Jack Turner of the Society of Either.
And hi, I'm Maddox, and I'll be playing Jude Allen Astor, Virtual Adept.
All right. And last we left off, we got to see the second act, as it were, of our 12th Night interpretation, where we actually got to see the 12th Night having been played out on the 12th Night of 1958 and the repercussions of it all those years later. Almost coincidentally, an even number of years. But mages don't deal with coincidence. You got to see that there's a couple of people that took notice of you during the little time skips. You got to interact unwillingly for some of you with a vampire of some power and presence. You did manage to take a picture of the young lady who had been interested in you guys, and you got to download you fixed the phone where you got the downloaded text messages. So we're going to pick up on Monday, the 8th of January. And Jude, what theme song to a video game is playing as you're in the middle of waking up in that transition state between sleep and coming to?
There's a video game called Legacy of Kain.
Yeah.
And it's specifically, I think it's called the Soul Reaver theme.
Okay.
Is the song that's currently playing.
All right. The bombastic one at the intro of the first game?
Mm-hmm. With the certain chun, 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 chun. That sort of, yeah.
So you'll suddenly start to hear that, and you'll start to remember the opening credits. The Kain is deified, but instead of the PlayStation 1 level of graphics, it's 2-bit, almost 4-bit. It is this blocky, almost Minecraft-esque landscape, and where the pillars of Nosgoth would be and the throne of Kain, you see instead your Tamagotchi. What does he look like? What do they look like?
Sparky will always look the same regardless of what device they appear on. But Sparky is a little digital blob. Usually it's bits and only ever appears in sort of a bit form. Most of the time, just the standard little way it would appear on the Tamagotchi itself. But it goes anywhere from 8 to 16 and just sort of hops around in that area, not really going past it. But it's this little digital blob with cute blinking eyes. But it can speak and interact when it, as it can with being a familiar.
Yep. And you'll hear it, you'll see it blink, and it kind of has a little noise that goes with it, the blink, blink. And then you'll see a little menu come up that you're used to, the feed, play, rest, or clean.
Definitely feed in this case.
Okay.
Is the selection first.
Yeah.
Big smile on Jude's face.
And it hobbles over in its little two-dimensional form.
And he holds it out in the palm of his hand, which is funky because it doesn't feel like it's multi-dimensional.
Oh, no. The moment it transitions out of your body that you visualize it, it becomes two-dimensional. So it just becomes this, it goes from glowing tasks, as however you see tasks existing for yourself, into this two-dimensional blob. And it blinks again, it goes blink, blink, and it opens its mouth, almost like Kirby.
And then just a gentle toss right inside.
There is the sound of a Macintosh trash can being cleared, and it starts to roll around, or appear to roll around. It is two-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see feed becomes grayed out, but play, clean, and rest are still vibrant.
Oh, clean next, absolutely.
Okay. And it waddles up to you, and it just starts to nuzzle your leg. How tall is Sparky compared to you?
I'd say Sparky is, God, probably does, if standing, as much as a blob can stand,
Right.
probably just comes up to his ankle. So like probably squirrel height.
Okay.
At least in this space.
Yeah. Do you have shoelaces on your shoes? What are you wearing in this vision of yours? How do you present yourself to Sparky?
Exactly the same as he is in real life. Black simple tennis shoes, all that stuff, jeans, his black shirt, and his sleeveless hoodie.
You see him try to start eating one of your shoelaces.
No, not that. Come on. Here. And then as we wrap up with clean and stuff, Jude immediately goes into play and just starts like gently tossing him up into the air and catching him, stuff like that.
There is a 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional tone, like one of those old Nokia cell phone happy tones. Every time that you throw them up into the air.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you'll see that clean has grayed out, and then after the 4th or 5th toss, play has grayed out, and then you'll see that rest is the only one that's active.
Mm-hmm. Quick pat on the head and then rest.
It doesn't go to rest immediately. It kind of sits there looking up at you, and it plinks its eyes, and then you'll hear the sound of billiard balls clacking together. You'll hear the sound of a domino game, that kind of rustling of the dominoes clacking against each other, and the smell of cigar.
Man, that smells like punch. Still my favorite cigar I've smoked. Yeah, Jude's gonna like still keeping Sparky in somewhat like line of sight, but like still try to like shift around and look about for the source.
And you'll hear the sound of a large crowd all of a sudden as its maw opens up again, and you'll hear Russell Crowe's voice. "Are you not entertained?"
Holy fuck, when was the last time I talked with you? Get out here. Why the fuck you hiding?
Blinks its eyes at you.
Oh, you little clever bastard, and pats on the head.
It tries to bite your hand.
Pull away, but is it seeming playfully biting, or is it like stop it kind of biting?
It's kind of like a ferret wanting you to follow it, to let it lead you somewhere.
Oh, thanks, Sparks. Sorry, it's been a fucking time, and he'll start following.
And then you'll see its maw open up, and you'll hear Will Ferrell's voice. "You're my boy, Blue."
Last time you said I was your huckleberry, but I'll accept that one too.
And it blinks its eyes at you, and then it kind of rolls back towards the throne of Nosgoth. And as it does, the panorama melts away, and you'll go from Minecraft into a very like Unreal Engine kind of world. Vibrant, very Morrowind or Elder Scrolls. Just there is this cold breeze, and you'll see a scene of two bodies almost reaching out for each other, but their color fades away to nothingness. They go from being Unreal Engine level to PlayStation 2 level. They'll drop down to 16-bit, down to 8-bit, until there's this two-dimensional skeleton, and then they vanish.
Not quite sure what that's supposed to imply, but
His eyes blink at you twice again, and then it just rolls over. And as it does, the Minecraft scene comes back. The pixelated version of the Soul Reaver comes into display, and he sits on the throne and just closes his eyes, and you'll see the little Z's floating up. And you'll feel this soft touch on your forehead, on the temple. And then there's another touch, and another, and then finally there is just the hand on your face and the kiss on your lips. Are you okay?
And that's when Telma's waking me up.
Mm-hmm. You're tossing. You okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm all right. Just
You want some coffee?
please, a million% please.
Okay.
And this whole conversation is happening in Spanish, by the way.
Okay.
Because Jude likes to make sure that he practices when he can, even when he's half asleep or just waking up or whatever.
Yeah. And she'll get up out of her side of the bed and come around and help you up out of yours. And then there's another moment where she just kind of kisses you softly. And then she very playfully kind of giggles at you for a second, which is instantly the kind of moment where I think internally alarms start going off. And then she just, with the back of her hand, just taps your ball sack. And in Spanish, she goes, "That's mine." And then just kind of runs off to the kitchen.
Jude doesn't say anything. He just shrugs like, I have nothing to say to that. She's right.
But in fact, and as you have left the bed, we'll transition to a different bed. And there is this soft padding. There is this little tiniest of beans that have come touching your face.
Yes.
Who is Lenore? So we all know.
Is Sylvia's pet kitten. Not a familiar. She's a pet. She adopted Lenore right around middle of November. Lenore is now about 4.5 months old. She is a gray and white little fluff ball. She's actually a munchkin kitten. So she's got the short little stubby legs
Mhm.
and just the cutest face you've ever seen.
And she's one of the quieter munchkins. She kind of just purrs more.
She purrs really loud though.
Yeah. And she has this
She's got a
very
good motor.
soft, she has this very soft, very closed mouth meow. And you hear her, like she knows that it's almost breakfast time. And as she turns to go away, you see that because of her stubby legs, she just kind of falls back and rolls off of you onto the side of the bed.
Come here, baby. I'll pick her up and give her some pets behind the ears and then set her on the ramp that's beside the bed for her to get down.
Immediate vibration of a purr that comes out. Like it's like a fucking barracuda. Like a Hemi engine of a purr. And as you put her on the ramp, you'll feel a weight on the edge of the bed, as if someone is sitting there.
I look over.
Who is visiting Sylvia? Which one of the many forms has come in your avatar? Because you don't have one.
No, it takes on many faces.
There's one, but I don't think it's him.
Right, it's not that one.
Mm-mm.
I think this one is going to be her great-great-grandmother, Abigail Rutherford.
Okay. What does she look like?
Well, in her idealized form, as a wraith would be, she's a redhead like Sylvia. She's got vibrant green eyes and a kind smile.
She reaches out for you.
I'll reach out and take her hand.
It's solid.
Yes.
It's not like your brother's.
Oh, Sylvia's very aware this isn't her actual great-great-grandmother. She can sense when a spirit is one from the living and when it's not.
Yep. The world around you has gone into slow motion. There is the very slow patting of Lenore's beans on the ramp.
She's just the cutest thing ever.
The wind coming through the window has blown the curtains, and they're slowly kind of undulating like a serpent on the desert. But between you and her, it is real time. And there's this scent that accompanies her of a cigar. She wasn't a smoker, though, was she?
That's different.
She kind of tilts her head at you. You doing okay?
That's a heavy question. My actions likely destroyed someone, so no, I'm not okay.
But you've been writing, so that's okay. That's a step.
I know.
She scooches closer. Read to me. What's your favorite part of the story you're crafting?
When two important characters finally meet. The townsfolk had all warned me of the creature. Beware, Sonny, that's a beast to stay far away from. It'll rip you asunder. I'd caught glimpses of it and thought to ask around. However, in my current state, battered, bruised, bleeding in the dirt after getting tossed from my bike due to a rock on the trail, I saw the creature as it really was. A young woman looked down upon my pitiful self, disheveled from far too much time in the wilds. Small, delicate features made her face and frame. She had sad eyes and a kind smile for me as she told me, "Come on now, get yourself up, dust yourself off. Life's not done with you yet." She extended a gloved hand to me. It wasn't claws or anything monstrous, just a hand, just a woman, just an outsider the town had turned their backs on. But as is often the case, my first assumptions were wrong. She was so much more than that.
You've seen the monster.
I've been the monster.
No, there's no monster in you.
Ain't there?
Not right now. You want there to be a monster?
Of course not.
Good. Get up. Dust yourself off.
Life's not done with me yet.
No. And as she stands up and turns her body towards you, she'll suddenly become the visage of Julian Renault. And his hand is gloved, just like you described.
I don't like that trick.
Mhm. She turns back. You've seen the monster.
Oh, I know.
Steer clear.
That's my intention. I want no part of that one.
Good. And as she helps you up, you'll hear the sound of billiard balls clacking together. And she'll turn towards it. No, that's my cue.
Billiard balls. Next
She'll
time we
put
should
her-
have some tea.
She'll put her hand on your face. Do you have any questions before I go?
If I do, I don't know how to put them to words. Not yet.
Everything has its time, and everything has its place. What happened with those two people wasn't something you could have done anything about.
I know that.
Good.
It's what happened to the one in this time.
Mm. Sometimes pain ripples. One person's damage is another person's bandage, and vice versa.
Sometimes. Sometimes it
want-
just leads to guilt and remorse.
Well, guilt and remorse are just a little river you got to tread sometimes to get to the other side. And that's called healing.
Well, since you've had your cue, you get going.
Mm.
I've got a kitten to feed.
Yeah. And she'll look at it, and time will resume as your attention is drawn to Lenore.
And I'll
you
get
look-
my cane and get out of bed
When you look
and
back, she's
prepare
gone.
her breakfast.
We shift over from your kitchen to a different kitchen. And what is Jack making for his breakfast?
Coffee, of course.
Mhm.
He has his own souped up espresso maker. Because why not?
Yeah.
Why have infinite magic powers and not make a coffee machine?
Right?
Right? That and he's pretty simple. He's generally he's up, he's impatient, he needs to be doing something. So
Mhm.
he toast and butter.
And there is this clanking noise as the machine starts to kind of pump the hot water through the beans.
Mm-hmm.
You're familiar with it. Espresso machines always have this loud kind of sound. But this one is different. It's very gear specific, very like almost like one of those machines that destroys things, that has the kind of rolling teeth.
Oh, a grinder.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And slowly the kitchen will wash away. One of the cabinets will fall, revealing just a blue sky. The fridge will decompose and rust over, and as its door falls, you'll see a kind of gray horizon, and coming through on just this mechanical whinny, you'll hear the horse first. Does it have a name?
Yes, it does have a name. It is, in fact, named after the horse it's based on. His name is Rocinante.
Okay. And it whinnies and it heavily clomps into what's left of your kitchen. And behind you, where the rest of your apartment would be, there is just this idyllic kind of clearing. It's very, very reminiscent of the Everglades. There's a little bit of water here and there. There's some tall grass. And there's a bit of rust on the hooves. There's a bit of rust on the feet. And as your avatar descends off of this horse, there is a little bit of a splash. What does it look like?
Jack's avatar looks essentially what you might think of a knight of old, a knight errant. He's got a tabard and he's got some chainmail on. Chainmail isn't the best. He's been around. The most striking thing, though, is that it doesn't look human at all. He's got gears for shoulders. He's got small lanterns for eyes. He has a grill for a mouth. He has two speakers, small speakers on the side of his head for ears. It's essentially what you might imagine a Clockwork Knight looks like.
There's this moment where he kind of stutter steps, almost like the little robot from the Wizard of Oz sequel. But he catches himself. He pulls out a little oil can from a compartment and squeezes some drops, like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of looks at you. His right hand kind of stretches out in your direction. His left hand finds its place on the clockwork baton at his side that he imagines is a sword, this regal blade of old, and the burlap sack that is his cape kind of billows for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Verily, well met.
Well met, sir. You want a coffee?
He looks up. Nay, good sir, but I thank thee for your pains.
Rosie, you want a coffee?
It whinnies and it clumps over to you very excitedly.
I make two.
No. But he comes over and he stands with you and just kind of puts his hand, claps your shoulder. Adventure is afoot.
We had to
Death
find one.
must be remanded. Justice for those that have suffered.
Hopefully there won't be any downstream effects, but a W in the short term.
What is this W?
Winning.
Wherefore not thou say winning instead then? What does
No.
one gain from shortening a word to its initial letter?
See, I put my hand on his shoulder and I clap it. See, where I'm from, I'm very cool. And that's how we talk.
Are you frigid? Shall I give you my cape? And he starts to unclasp it.
Oh, no, good sir. You may keep your cape. Thank you, though.
If thou art sure,
I am sure.
I have no need of it. You may
No.
take it willingly,
Hmm.
gladly. What
I need it.
what is mine is yours.
As what is mine is yours as well.
Aye, for we are brothers. And he'll clap both your shoulders.
Hmm.
And it is like Dwayne The Rock Johnson clapping your shoulders. Like, it is heavy. There's no control in this man, this thing's strength.
I internally oof a little bit, and I try to maintain my my posture.
Luckily, there's a counter for you to hold on to. And he'll look at you. Query, if I may, Sir Jack of Cool. And he'll go over and you'll see him open one of the saddlebags. And when he does, you smell a cigar and then the sound of billiard balls clacking together, like a good break, a good solid break.
Have you taken up a new hobby, sir?
Nay, good Sir Jack of Cool. This is a noise that has been befuddling me. Thou knowest it.
It is a table game where they hit balls with sticks.
And he'll look down at the non-existent genital area and then kind of look up at you. This sounds painful, good Sir Jack.
Unfortunately, they are representatives of balls. They are not real ones.
Ah, excellent. Much safer.
All in good fun.
Pray tell, what fun is there to hitting balls with sticks?
There are rules to it. You have to get certain balls in certain holes in a certain order. And
how many balls and how many holes, good Sir Jack of Cool?
It depends on the game. God, and Terry's forgetting how many balls are on a pool table right now.
15.
15. There are 15. And there are stripes and there are solids. And whatever you get in first are the ones that you need to get in the holes first in order.
Aren't all the balls solids? Or are some liquids?
I don't do well with existential questions before coffee, but I understand your point. It's the coloring and the markings on the balls.
I still do not understand, good Sir Jack of Cool.
It's fair. Maybe we should go play this game sometime.
Do you have access to it?
Of course.
And he'll look around.
Oh,
verily, where is it?
Oh, not here. I'll build one. You know what? I'll build one. Come by later.
Most excellent. I look forward to this.
As do I.
And he'll kind of stand there for a moment. And whereas Jack has this intense, almost creepy need to make eye contact with people, your knight is just staring 1,000 yards into the distance. Just lost in the heroics of his own mind.
Oh, man, it's going to be a good memory, buddy.
Verily. I take my leave of you then. I have delivered my message and my insight.
I will bring up these strange noises and smells with my companions.
Do with it thou'st will.
Maybe another adventure.
Oh, maybe. Mayhaps one that will see you wielding a weapon for the first time.
Maybe.
And you'll see him pull his baton free like a sword. And for a moment, it glistens like a blade, almost like Excalibur. But then you'll see it for the baton that it is. And it's, at best, it is this kind of whittled stick, kind of like the kind that a boy, a child of 10 to 12 might find in the woods and pretend it's a lightsaber.
Or, like 47.
Yep. But he holds it out to you. Do not be afraid.
You sure?
Please.
I'll
What is
reach
mine
out.
is yours.
I'll reach out and not timidly, but I'll take it.
Yep. And it weighs as much as a sword would weigh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, regardless of its look, it is what he thinks it is, what he believes it to be.
Does it bring Jack down to the ground holding it?
Yeah. Yeah. It weighs as much as like a Celtic broadsword, but it's barely bigger than Sylvia's cane.
Thank you. I may have to practice a bit before I'm able to wield it.
Yes. We will work your muscles. This is your new task.
Of course. Building a billiards table and working out.
Yes. You will work it out. I have faith in thee.
And that means everything to me.
Thou art a good and noble apprentice.
I'm glad I am glad.
Verily, we are both glad then, Sir Jack of Cool. And he'll clap your shoulder again, take the sword from you, and get up on his horse. Until we meet again, an adventure calls us forth.
Hopefully it won't be too long.
Nay, it never is long.
Mm-mm.
And
Good day, sir.
He'll just start to ride off, and there's the heavy clumps of this massive iron steed. And that same energy, that same kind of force of nature barreling through the wilderness will bring us to Eden.
Boy.
Where do we find her at the end of the day? You've had your first day of classes.
At the end of the day, she would probably having only had to give out syllabi today, thankfully, she would have probably headed to the botanical gardens, to her own special little pocket where her altar lies and where her cult meets, the cult of the burning beast. So
yeah. And what you expect to be this meeting, this collection of like-minded individuals, you'll notice that as you come into the area where you've designated your altar, your node or your chantry, the garden is wild here suddenly, and it is unkempt. And as you turn around to see if perhaps you've walked down the wrong aisle of the garden, the botanical is gone, and you are in the wilderness. You are in the middle of the Everglades again, and you'll hear this low alligator rumble from the water around you. You'll smell the ash that you remember. You'll see something slither under the water near you, and immediately you're brought back to the day.
Oh, fuck. Okay. She will sit, cross her legs, breathe, smell in the air, the ash burning as it starts to rise the blood, and just take a second. I am listening.
There's a moment you hear water splash near you, and as you turn, there is this sudden push of blackness. There is this snake head. Its eyes are like gold coins, and as it darts towards you, mouth agape, fangs bearing and dripping with poison, The water in front of you splashes, and this massive alligator clomps down, and the snake stops inches from your face. And the gator just looks at you. And the rumble is repeated.
I close my eyes to blot out the visual and listen for the spiritual. I will reach out and place my hands against the dirt and just feel for the moment.
You'll feel the snake plop onto your legs, and you will feel the hot breath of this alligator as you can, without opening your eyes, that its mouth has opened up on either side of your head. You hear the rumble echoing in its gramophone of a mouth. Just, it's open in front of your face. It is so close. You can almost feel the weight of its belly on the bottom of your feet. And it's pushing closer.
I'm listening. I hear you.
There is the smell of a cigar. It exhales, blowing its hot breath into your face. Its belly pushes down on your feet, squishing you into the mud around you. Its mouth is now so close to its apex, to the point where the hinge closes and it kills its prey. And again, the rumble.
I
And you
really
smell
do not
blood.
understand. What do you wish of me?
And you feel the legs push forward. Its body impossibly pressed against yours, and its mouth still angled with your head. Even as you fall back, it moves forward and angles itself down, and you imagine that the mouth should have hit mud and stopped itself, but it pushes past. It follows you all the way down until there is nothing but a tent of alligator teeth and the fear of death. This is not a nice avatar. It has never been nice to you.
What do you wish me to know? Please. Please.
It exhales another puff of cigar smoke. And it pushes itself up. But as it does, it pushes you down. And the water starts to come up past your ears. The world becomes muffled. There's only the weight of this thing pushing up against you to lift itself up. And in that muffled wetness of submergence, clear as day, you'll hear the sound of billiard balls hitting. The loud clack of a break, and you'll feel the hand on your elbow. Priestess, are you well? A cultist is there.
She will unsteadily take a breath, sit back up. Another vision. Amelia, another vision.
Blessed.
Something like that.
What does your space look like in the botanical garden? Paint the picture for us.
It is a small clearing, maybe 50 feet across. In the center, there is a ritualistic altar and a place upon which to sacrifice thing with a plinth behind it, standing jagged towards the sky, which is what has been made into the node, this unnatural rock formation. And there are torches that have been set across fire for the burning beast, and across it are various flowers, the life that is offered across its face. And it is beautiful, but it is also across the actual altar itself. There is gore, there are bones, there is the slaked off color of blood, which has been spread across it time and time again. And now, at the very least, there is myself and one of the cultists, Amelia.
Has your avatar ever used the alligator before? Or is this new?
This was different. This was new. There is always the scent of burning and blood, but the form it takes, the pressure it applies, the beasts which it commands or controls tends to differ. It has appeared as of course, its most massive form, the Wendigo. And then it has appeared as deer, it has appeared as lizards, it has appeared as snakes, but never as an alligator.
When it takes the form of a snake, do you ever feel like it is mocking you, given how you awakened?
I feel like it is showing its raw power over me, how, though it saved my life, it could snuff it in an instant.
The night goes by, the afternoon goes by. Are all of you meeting up on this evening of Monday, or are you meeting up sometime later to discuss the text messages and the picture of this girl that Jude managed to capture?
I could go for Denny's.
That early into the evening?
Anytime. It's Denny's.
We got to go to
That's
Waffle
true
House
enough.
at least. Come on now.
It's Denny's. There is a place down south in Kendall called the Starlight Diner that is a kind of regular haunt.
Ooh, I like that.
Sure.
Cute name.
Jacked
Yeah.
up, whatever.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can pick up Sylvia if she needs it.
Sure.
Okay. So we'll do a dissolve cut into you at the diner. Food, if you have ordered it, has arrived. Drinks, there's maybe 10 or 12 people spread out across the diner. It is built like a long version of a Streamline mobile home. So all of the booths are on the side facing the side street. There is a small kind of soft serve ice cream bar opposite the booths that extends a good portion. There's a small patio with maybe like 8 tables, high tops. But otherwise, there is a little corner where there are 4 low tops meant to sit 4 people. So you have your option patio. It is nice now that the sun is kind of on its last vestiges of light. It's dropped down to about 63. So it's nice out for the patio. Otherwise, you could have a booth or one of the tables. Or you could sit at the bar too if you want to be fancy.
Honestly, yeah, wherever is easiest for Sylvia to sit and not feel like something's hurting because she's sitting that way.
Yeah.
So
Probably
we probably
a
just
booth because usually those seats are padded.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Jude definitely has a serving of the soft serve.
Okay. What flavor?
Vanilla. He's nice and simple with ice cream.
Okay. A white person.
Mhm. He likes other ice cream, but he wanted vanilla.
Okay. So I open up the scene to the group.
Well, if we're all four there, Eden is coming back from that particular ritualistic site. She is definitely a little more wide-eyed right now. Her body language is skittish, and she has dirt under her fingernails, and her makeup's probably a little bit messed up. And she has various like grasses and things just kind of hitched into her shirt and her pants as well.
Had a rough go of it.
Yeah.
Did you
You
get
okay?
tackled or something?
My friend.
Oh,
Ugh.
Encounters are never pleasant.
that's
So
all.
it happened to you too, huh?
Me too.
Oh, well, yep.
All right. And Jude's going to take out his new phone, open up to notes, and get ready to start typing. All right, let's cross compare. Eden, anything you want to talk about with it?
She will type an alligator, an unusual form, biting teeth, the smell of cigars, the clacking of billiard balls.
Jack, something from the sketch he's doing, which is of a pool table that he's designing. Oh, well, that's not a coincidence. And he puts his head back down and goes back to sketching out.
Yeah, I also got that sound and that scent.
Mm-hmm.
Mine also did something weird and used my familiar's face, which it's never done before. Usually it has its own sort of vaguely human shape that's just made of glowing colored code, but he did not do it that time.
Yeah.
Did still communicate the same at least, but there was a noticeable difference and it's a little funky.
Well,
Mine was a little unsteady on his feet.
oh yeah?
I got the impression that the smell and the noise was bothering him somehow.
Yeah. Mine, well, I've seen what mine looks like, truly, once. And I don't like to think about that. And so what mine does is it tends to wear familiar faces for me. And kind of like you see some shows that have mediums and stuff on them and they talk about their spirit guides, ancestor spirits and all that shit. That's basically what it does. Today it was my great-great-grandmother. But so anyway, yeah, had the same smell of cigar smoke, billiard balls. She said it was her cue to leave. But one thing weird, she transformed into the vampire.
A leech?
Oh, from the play.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Warned me to stay off of that one. Which I have no intention of being on that one. That is not my forte nor interest. There ain't shit I can do to something that is not dead.
You think it was all that stuff we were getting hit with?
Oh no, that helped me finish my book.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Got my first draft done and I'm already working on revision.
I
Hey,
did
good job,
finally
Sylvie.
finish up some code I was trying to write the other night, so that was helpful.
Got my syllabus done, got everything taken care of, all of my lesson plans. Felt possessed almost.
Yeah, it was like I was just kind of infused with the creative energy to do it.
It felt exactly the same as when I used to code back in high school, so I was just excited and got it done quick.
I can see why some of my people get attached to that.
And I have to be honest, I'm around quite a few of the Cuban residents, especially in my neighborhood, and dating a Cuban girl. So I like to think I have enjoyed the odd cigar here and there. But something about that sound and that smell has been wigging me out ever since I woke up.
A bar, maybe. A dive.
You can't smoke in those places anymore.
Private then?
Obviously.
Someone's home.
Or underground.
Big home. Mansion.
What are the chances it's actually coming from something like a cigar lounge? I know they can sometimes
Could
have
be.
billiards in there.
Could be.
Not sure.
You'll hear the sound of wheels screeching and then the blaring horn of a car, as you'll see that there is an almost crash outside the window. Could I have Sylvia give me a willpower roll?
Absolutely. Is her entropy doing wonky shit again? Let me find my cursor.
The entropy is what might have saved the crash from happening.
That's awesome. Okay, let me do a willpower roll.
Yep.
Diff 6?
Yep.
Okay. That is 5 successes.
Okay. It doesn't jar you like you imagine it should have. The fact that they avoided crashing into it might have had a huge help in that. But you definitely are on edge slightly as far as what that is and not what it means to you. And for a moment, you catch a glimpse reflected in the window of someone sitting at the table nearby. What does Tyler look like?
Who is Tyler? Refresh my
Your-
memory. I play a
your
number
boyfriend.
of games. The dead boyfriend.
The
Okay.
boyfriend.
The dead boyfriend. Thank you. I have to
Yeah.
remember these things.
Yeah.
Okay. Her dead boyfriend was her high school sweetheart.
Mhm.
And her first boyfriend. And he was actually not goth.
Love it.
He was a jock of all things. And just a really nice guy. But he was, attractive for a 16-year-old and, not like super built or anything, but strong and had brown hair, really warm brown eyes, and a very coy kind of grin. Like he was in on some kind of joke all the time.
You see him reflected, almost a smile on his face, that grin. But turning towards the table, there's nobody there.
No, she knows he isn't on the other side like her brother.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that's her head fucking with her. Because of course it does. Yeah. Sylvia has gotten real fucking quiet. And she takes a sip of her sweet tea.
Jack, give me a perception and alertness roll.
Oh, sorry.
Jack.
Oh.
Let's see.
Diff 6.
Yep.
I'm not gonna botch it.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't.
no.
Oh, cool.
No, look at you.
Not botching shit.
You're not being the Ree this time. You notice the shift in the energy suddenly. But hanging off of a cork board with like announcements for the area and shit like that, you'll see a poster for NEAPW, NEAPW, the band that is your antithesis. What does the poster look like?
Oh,
And what is it? And what is it drawing attention to?
Oh, it's definitely it's if Jack respects it, even though there is nemesis, fun nemesis, professional nemesis. There is a essentially it has the words you just said, the NEAPW, but what takes up most of the album, the poster is it's a side view of a crow or a raven, one of those corvid type animals, birds, and it's a big eye. Right, you can it's your attention is drawn right to the eye of this bird, and in the middle of the bird is Molly, and just looking creepy as fuck. So,
okay, and what is it? Bringing attention to? Is this a concert? Is this?
There's well, as a matter of fact, it's bringing attention to new show dates, which are the dates that Jack's band doesn't have anymore at Gramps.
What does that do for you?
Jack actually, he's in the booth. He's sitting next to Jude. He pushes Jude's face away to get out of the booth.
Okay.
Then he goes over to it. He takes the pen that he was sketching with, and he draws a mustache on Molly, and then he goes back to his desk.
Perfect.
That's how it makes him feel as a 12-year-old.
I respect the hustle.
Right.
What does the cat look like that watches you do this?
Oh, jeez. So the cat, it looks kind of like the Cheshire cat. It's got big eyes, way too big for a normal cat. It's got those not super short legs, but almost like Scottish fold like paws and legs. That type of burly cat, not a lean one like the ones I have here running around. But yeah, essentially, it looks like if a human saw it, it would be a cat, but it's a little cat adjacent with some of the features.
Where is it that you've noticed it?
Oh, it's on the counter watching me next to and it's just kind of, cleaning its faces as I do that.
Yep. And it just kind of stares at you.
What?
The same way that you stare at everyone else.
What?
Just makes eye contact.
Can we see what Jack?
You do not see what Jack sees.
So you see him turn to the counter and like posture.
With mine, do I see it?
Ooh. You
or
could try.
With spirit, do I see it?
You could try a combination of the two.
All right.
In the worst case, you could always use mine to pick up what Jack's thinking of when he sees it.
Yeah, but with spirit, could I possibly see something if I combine that with mind?
Sure.
Okay.
That'll work.
Because I now have 2 in spirit.
Oh, fancy.
Jude, we hang out with some strange people.
We are strange people. He says, taking a scoop of his ice cream and mixing it into his coffee.
Oh, God.
That's not strange. Let's be real.
No, that's just good.
Yeah,
that's just creamer.
Man,
that's just fancy fangled creamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to do it like that. It's not vulgar or anything.
Nope. No, it is not.
There's not really going to be any witnesses because this is just a scan. Nobody's going to notice she's doing anything.
Nope.
Okay.
It is the first level of each dot, so you're fine.
I got no successes. We're fine.
No.
I don't see shit.
Yeah, you
I am
know-
totally in my head right now. I don't see
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, like you know that Jack feels like he sees something. Like you can feel the residuals of his mind. Like this is something that exists that I'm talking to, but what it is escapes you.
Mhm.
And we'll just ruffle its head and head back to the counter, back to the booth.
Okay.
Then I'll
Did
push
he just-
Jude in this time.
Did you just pet the air?
Huh? Oh,
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
I mean, we are pretty weird.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, it's I don't know how to describe it. Like, no one's really explained all the that stuff to me. They have these things that aren't quite them, but they're I don't know.
Like a familiar?
No, it's not one of our things. It's one of the Tinkerbell things.
Like a Fae thing?
I'm
Okay.
trying to use code language. I don't know.
I don't fucking know either.
And the cat, you'll notice, will look in your direction, and as it opens its mouth, it moves. There's this loud, long moo.
That is a smart ass chimera. Okay.
Jack just like
That's
He
the
just
kind of
claps.
chimera you don't want as a companion because it's too smart.
Yeah.
Jack just claps his hands. All right.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, it looks like a cat and it's mooing. So have at it with take that as you will.
That ain't my fucking bag, ain't it? Okay.
Maybe
All
one day
right.
I'll write a story about something like that.
It would go over really well, I bet.
Especially in
Unsarcastically.
in a Southern Gothic, type setting.
A
Mhm.
mooing cat?
That sounds
Yeah.
like
You
some
say
horror
so.
shit.
The Kentucky cat.
The Kentucky cat.
Okay. So this shared experience. Are we gonna research this? Are we looking for it? They clearly told us for something. They're acting weird.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of I don't know of anything that could explain why we all experienced the same, or at least our friends did.
I still want to curse the fucking leech, but I am a little worried.
At this point, I don't think it's worth interacting with him unless something really fucks around.
Right. And you got to think, if he owns that place and he owns the old Biltmore, he probably owns more stuff. And he's probably pretty powerful.
My guess would be he or someone he's associated with owns the Barracuda's bar because that's where he invited that girl. I don't know about you all. She is someone I'd want to look into far more than any sort of vampire.
Yeah, she did seem to like.
She noticed,
Yeah, that didn't make any
us
sense at all.
and everything we were doing, but she didn't seem awake like we are.
She wasn't.
Right.
She wasn't nothing I could sense.
Did you
Just
get
a girl.
Did you get a picture of her?
My phone was turbo fucked, so I had to switch over. So I don't have all the same photos, and so I'd have to go through and look again to see what I salvaged, but I'm fairly certain I lost something.
Oh, come on, Jude. You're the tech guy. Are you losing your touch?
No, it's because someone used a hermetic ritual, and apparently those don't play well with cell phones.
Doesn't surprise me.
Because, of course, God forbid a hermetic anything be cooperative.
All right. So I don't know. Maybe we look up cigar places. Obviously, most bars are gonna have a pool table, and there's probably a lot around here.
I can ask Telma's brother or maybe your dad. They'd know their cigars.
That's fair. I'd have to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Well, anybody that really
Considering
smokes.
Sylvia has gone around to various venues in the city looking for places to host goth nights, would she know of any places that fit that?
There are 3 major billiard halls in the Miami area.
Ones that allow smoking of cigars?
Cigars, no. A lot of them have turned away from
Yeah,
allowing
because you
smoking.
can't smoke in public spaces. I mean, in places
Yep.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, especially because the two of the popular ones serve food.
Yes.
Mm.
There's one that doesn't serve food, so there's some smoking allowed. One of the billiard places has a terrace, like a little patio that you can go out and smoke
And
from.
smoke on?
Yeah. The other ones, there's one that's a second story of a strip mall, and then there's another one that is like a hole in the wall on the corner of a strip mall, a 1-story strip mall, but they're kind of south. Like the furthest one that's south is kind of between Kendall and Homestead. It's called Peg's Pocket. There's one in West Kendall called Shooters. And then there's one across the street from Florida International University called oh my god, New Wave.
All right, you got Pike's Place, Shooters, and New Wave.
Oh, Peg's Place?
Peg's Pocket.
Peg's Pocket. Fuck.
Pike's Pocket, sorry.
So
Sorry, we both fucked it up.
cigars remind me like either of old money or posers. Do
Oh,
either of
they-
those fit?
I
Of those
mean-
3, storyteller, which would be more apt to have cigar smokers?
Probably Pegs. There's a lot of people that hang out in the parking lot, and there's a few of the regulars that will hang out behind the billiard place.
All right. Sylvia will relay that.
I don't know if anyone's gonna smoke a cigar in a fucking parking lot, right? I always figure that's like leaned back in like a leather chair type deal, right?
Not
Old
always.
money or posers?
Not always, but
Maybe it's just colored by the cultures I'm hanging around, but for the most part, I see cigars smoked in terms of celebration, the same way people would have like a shot of whiskey or something like, oh, my daughter just had a kid and shit like that.
right.
It's oftentimes celebratory. So if it's not someone who understands how and when Cubans smoke cigars, it could just not be someone in that bracket. I don't know.
Could
So
anyone
what-
tell if it was a Cuban cigar or not?
That was my good. Like long shot. I don't smoke, but
I
there's
do.
differences. They're very unique depending on
I
the
just know
tobacco.
it stunk.
The big difference is that you inhale cigarette smoke. You do not inhale cigar smoke.
Fuck no.
I saw a new guy do that once. It was great.
Did he throw up?
He retched.
As you should.
There's a 4th place in Doral called Doral Billiards, which is huge. That used to be a big place for smokers,
So
Mm,
but it has
We-
since stopped.
yeah.
we fuck with a leech, or rather, we witness a leech. Leech runs off with someone. A few days later, we get a vision related to smoking cigars and playing a game. Maybe they're related. I don't know.
What about did the text have anything to do with it? We didn't really talk about those.
We haven't talked about those.
Oh yeah.
And Jude will pull up. It's a manuscript now because his phone got fucked. But he still has them and decoded it as best he could and all that stuff.
Your burner phone will suddenly have a ring that you did not program into it. It is the Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park, and you'll see that a picture has arrived.
I will check and put it on the table so everyone can see.
Is that a
You're-
Jurassic Park reference?
It is a Jurassic Park reference.
Nothing I put in this phone.
Okay.
But it is the picture of the girl, and it's not from your camera or from your effect.
Is it from an unknown number?
It is an unknown number.
Is it a hidden number or just
No,
okay?
just a number with an area code from Philadelphia, looks like.
And it was that girl. Does it seem like it's a selfie or taken by someone else?
No, it looks like it's someone else, but it also looks like it's posed. So somebody that she might have known or asked to take a picture of, or somebody that pulled it off of a Facebook or something like that. But there is the 3 little dots of an incoming message.
Oh, wait.
And then it just, again, and you'll see that it says Liliette Gomez Sandoval. And I think this is a good point to go to break. Everybody, we'll be back in a few.
All right. We will be back in about 10-ish. See you soon.
See you soon.
Welcome back, everybody. Before the break, we got to see their avatars and how they interact with each other, and a little bit of a hinkiness given the current effect of the glamour still kind of residualizing and wearing off. But we left off with Jude getting a text message from a weird number, which was a photo of the girl from the playhouse, and then you got her name. And you'll see the 3 little dots, the ellipses come back up. And then you'll see a second picture come up of the A from Assassin's Creed.
All right. Maddox doesn't quite get this context on that. Could you do some sort of like perception empathy or something to suss out what's that might be in reference to, aside from Assassin's Creed?
I'll let you do an intelligence and enigmas or investigation. Maybe occult. One of those 3 could definitely
if you
fit.
want to throw it at me.
All the ones with exactly 1 dot to the skill. What difficulty?
I mean, unfortunately, we'll say it's difficulty 5.
Okay.
It's not too hard to jump to a conclusion here.
2 successes.
Nice. Given the context of the games and where they started, it was this idea of Desmond kind of fighting against the Templars by going into the past lives and trying to figure out the whole thing about the treasures of Eden and what they did to humanity to kind of lead them in the right direction. It's not too hard to leap to the idea that the A in this context might stand for Arcanum.
Yeah, Jude's honestly just going to mutter it under his breath, but everyone at the table will hear as he just says repeatedly, Arcanum.
Do we know anything about that?
If you guys have any points in occult or esoterica, you will have learned
yes,
that there is.
Yes,
you will have learned that there's an organization, very loose, kind of the Watchers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where it's just like a guy in an office with like a bunch of file folders and then a couple of field agents that report to him and he reports to somebody else. But it's a bunch of nobodies that they just are tasked with observing. But they also know a lot about what's going on.
Watchers.
Do you say Arcanum? So
give me a second. And Jude's actually going to pick up the phone again, and he's going to try and do some reverse tracing and see where location. It's sure Philadelphia area code, whatever. You can have an area code from anywhere.
Yeah.
But he wants to see, is that like in the city? Is that somewhere else he's just looking for location. He doesn't care about like person attached to it just yet.
You get back, the first thing you get back is a mailer demon, where it's just like the phone number is no longer in service.
Mm-hmm.
But then you manage to get it all the way back to California. It pinged off of Philadelphia, and then it pinged off of Kansas City. It pinged off of Denver, and then it pinged off of Sacramento.
Huh.
So do
Know
we
anyone in Cali?
Nope.
Cali? What the fuck? So are we thinking
That's where this text came from. California.
Huh.
Are we thinking that maybe this woman is one of the people in this?
Well, she sure wasn't necessarily affected by things like everyone else. She was fully aware of what we were because she noticed us, and she was engaging the fucking vampire intentionally.
And the
I saw her do it.
And he, from what I recall, was very into her too.
She was still being affected by the time thing, though, the time dilation thing.
She was, but it was a little different for her.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because where everyone else went through emotions, but even when stuck, she was mainly looking towards what was actually happening.
Yeah.
So she's just there to observe. Like, can I try and sort of piece together a little bit of this? Like, why would a watcher be there? Is it specifically just to observe? Do they do anything else? Like, how does their organization work? Do I know anything about them?
It's rough because of the dog and pony show that it is. Like, it, unlike the Second Inquisition or Project Twilight or the Special Affairs Division of the FBI, like, the Arcanum is basically a bunch of people that meet up in a basement or a garage and just kind of have conspiracy boards.
Okay,
like,
so
there are rumors that there are cells that are funded, but in Miami, it's never been that way that you've seen.
And they don't seem like a threat, right?
They have this kind of altruistic mentality of just observing.
Don't get involved.
That's not to say that they haven't gotten involved. There are stories of militant members of the Arcanum that have taken steps to try to correct the course of an individual that might be operating outside the parameters of that ideal.
Right.
Almost like they're hunters.
Almost.
In a way.
Almost. They are technically part of the Hunters Hunted umbrella.
Oh.
Where, the Society of Leopold, the SAD, like they are
actual hunters. Okay.
They are considered that kind of antagonist. They're puffballs.
Yeah, they're just sensitive people that can pick up shit and they just watch.
Yeah.
Paper tigers. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like the Talamasca from Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah. Yeah. So with her name, I'm going to look her up just to see what mundane information I can get.
You'll find the Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a Facebook account. She's currently a student. She is a member of a sorority at University of Miami. She's currently studying psychiatry.
Was it FIU?
Nope, it is the University of Miami.
University of Miami. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
She's a journalism student.
Money. Yes.
Fair enough.
At University of Miami.
Yeah, she's got money from the Facebook profile.
Mm-hmm.
Has it been updated in the last couple of days since?
I'm gonna scroll through any posts.
Yeah, the last post was yesterday. And then there is a picture of her and her group at Barracuda, and you will see that Julian Renault is amongst them. He sticks out because he's in like a business suit, and everybody else is college aged and fucking t-shirt and jeans.
That's so fucking creepy. He looks so old compared to them.
Does the picture on Facebook, the background match the picture we got on the text? Like, is it the same bar or is it somewhere else?
It is not the profile picture, but it is definitely a different picture in her
Photos.
gallery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is there one from the Coconut Grove, or is it just at the bar afterwards?
It's just a bar. It's just a bar.
Hmm.
And it just says karaoke night, fun times, and then there's the emoji of like the horn, balloons, and a cupcake.
When's her birthday? Because that's on Facebook.
On Facebook, it says it's June 23rd.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm going to go and look through her friends.
Okay. She doesn't, unlike other people on Facebook, she doesn't have like hundreds of people.
Mhm.
She has maybe 40,
Okay.
maybe
Just seeing
50.
I'm going to scroll through with my phone so everybody can see it and just slowly scroll through to see if we know anybody on that list.
Or do any of the initials in the text messages match up?
They don't.
Okay.
Some do because there are combinations that are just
Common. Yeah.
common. But most of them don't. And you'll notice that a lot of her friends are students at UM. There's no family. And there's no one that's older than 30 or younger than like 18.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's an alias. That few
Oh,
friends?
absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely it is. She has no fucking family attached to her on this.
Yeah.
None.
And they're
May
all
I?
at UM.
I wish we had someone good at tech in the group.
Right as Jack's saying that, Jude's just holding his hand out for Sylvia. He's like, "May I? I know it's your phone.
You broke the last one.
Yeah,
I won't break this one."
You bricked too.
She
Shut
hands it to him and
up.
says, if you
Working.
break my phone, I break your hand.
I won't break your fucking phone, Sylvia.
I'll give you a new hand if she breaks it.
I'll give you the hammer to break it with.
I'll make the hammer.
Or just trust that since I don't have to deal with hermetic shit, it'll all work
All right,
fine.
fuck. No,
Oh,
fuck.
it never ends with this guy. Jesus.
Oh no, now you get to work with weird shit. You know, sometimes
Never
I record
ends,
EVPs with that.
Guess what? It'll still.
Hermetic fan club. Holy
I
crap.
still think it'll probably work better. If ghosts are okay to show up on like radio frequencies, then I don't think they'll fuck over a cell phone.
Oh yeah, we should.
That you know of.
We could use that Blink app. Maybe if we can find some of these locations.
No. I refuse to install it. I refuse to use it. That is some flat out technocracy bullshit.
I've still got my fucking burner. We're fine.
But let's save it for like Plan H.
Sure.
And Jude's actually gonna try and pull his little hacker shit and get actual information on this girl, not public information.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's have Jude do an intelligence and computer.
Intelligence computer.
Intelligence.
Ooh, no.
You have a specialty in computer?
Yes, I do. Hacking,
Oh, excellent.
which I will be using. And I also have the computer aptitude merit, so
You
I have
sure
reduced
do.
difficulty.
There you go, Jude. Dig. Come on.
So what am I at?
So it would normally be a difficulty 7. So you're at difficulty 5.
Okay. And then I can't do specialty and willpower at the same time, right?
You can.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, then I'm definitely doing that.
Because remember, willpower just gives you an automatic success.
Yeah, then I'm definitely doing that. Roll.
Specialty just lets you reroll 10s.
7 successes.
God damn. Okay. You go through deep levels of firewalls. Like this is for a Facebook account. This has an insane amount of protection. And it is so familiar to you the moment you kind of get into like the 3rd and 4th level of the firewall, because this is the same thing that your parents had.
Fuck.
What?
Did you brick my phone?
No. No.
No.
Jude's gonna back out of everything that he's just done and then erase any trace to make sure Sylvia doesn't get fucked later and hand it back.
Yeah, but you did see that her actual Facebook account is just a picture of her in a library. It is sparse. It maybe has like 12 people. Some family, some like acquaintances. The last update was like 3 years ago. But her name there is just Lily Gomez. And she is a journalism student from FIU in that profile.
Along with all this lovely information, I recognize the level of security that she had on that account.
Is it a lot?
The only place I have seen it before was on technocrat work.
Oh, shit. She's a member then, most likely?
Maybe
Or
not.
has a friend. I don't know how it works with them.
Right.
So a member of the Arcanum and the Technocracy.
And why are they allowing a leech to manipulate her?
If they even know that she's in contact with them.
She's not a mage.
No.
Right.
So at most for them, she would just be a field
Ancillary.
operative.
Yeah. Maybe.
If she's tied to them at all, she's a contractor, likely.
Maybe an unknowing informant.
Could be.
Or she could be a potential recruitment target.
Yeah.
And Jude will actually like lock eyes with Jack for a second. The Technocracy love their recruitment drives.
They do.
And just so we all know, she did see us in the midst of a temporal event.
That's
and
what's
she
catching.
knew.
That's what's catching right now. I don't.
Yep. We don't want to get involved with that.
I don't know. It sounds like someone wants us to be. So.
Yeah. I mean, getting a burner phone number isn't all that difficult. So whoever's contacting me either isn't showing off what they can actually do, or maybe we're lucky and that's the limit of their technological prowess. Or they're like me and they can just do far more than what a regular computer could.
Yeah, what's like the worst thing you could do remotely? Think
blow up a nuke.
That's if I had access to a nuke. You kidding? With enough time and patience, I could probably cause an electromagnetic pulse from most devices. That tends to be not all that great.
I mean, you asked for the worst thing possible remotely.
Well, yeah. To a person on a personal level, not a governmental. Fuck, Sylvie, you know what I mean. Come on.
There are some
Sorry,
viruses.
I have a slightly morbid sense of humor.
There are some viruses that can actually do more than just brick a phone. It could probably like start to cause it to melt or overheat or start. Really, the problem with like data and information isn't that it's going to be something physically harmful. Usually it's harmful to your status, your economic standing, shit like that. Oh, fuck, my bank got hacked and now I have no money.
Right. Identity theft.
Right.
Yeah, shit like that. It's very rarely something where you can do something physical to someone. I can, in certain ways, try to be the exception to that. But you'd have to ask some of the more experienced ones than me on what exactly is possible at range.
Still, if we got technocrats poking around, my hackles are up.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to like turn in a fucking report or something, because we try to keep track of when they crop up.
So do we.
And sorry, say that again.
I said, so do we.
And I'm sure the Etherites probably have something too. People who tend to know how the technocrats operate one way or another tend to pay extra attention to their movements.
Do you think the leech was working with it?
Wouldn't put it past them. Vampires, from what I've heard, are opportunistic. Oftentimes working with anyone who can get them a leg up in some such or another.
The fucker seemed real fancy, so I would imagine he's got a lot of contacts, especially with owning something like the bar, and he's been there apparently for fucking 60 years. So,
and storyteller, he
shit's
also
fucked.
owns the Biltmore, right? The Biltmore.
It's not that he owns the Biltmore; it's that he is invested in the Biltmore. He can always be found there at the beginning of the evening.
So he is an investor in some regard. Whether he owns it or not is unknown.
Yeah. He was one of the major forces in establishing Gable Stage, which is using the annex of the building.
Okay.
So let's jumble it all together. What the fuck does all this mean? What was with the vision?
I don't think we have enough information.
Yeah. I don't either.
Why do I feel like we've been saying that a lot?
This shit's always cryptic.
Because we've been sitting around talking instead of doing.
That's true enough. Jude's actually going to stretch in his seat and polish off his coffee.
All right, then. So what are we thinking? Billiards or maybe take a drive around UM?
Actually,
why not both?
Oh, look,
billiards
some
first,
of
just
us have
'cause it's
played D&D
obvious.
before. We don't split the party.
Is it possible to I know with the technocracy fucking, like, is it possible to trace this person, see what they're up to? I don't know the limits of your tech abilities.
When digging through just a fucking Facebook account, if I run into that much security for something that simple, I dread to think of what I'd run into if I had to actually go properly digging. I don't know if I want to potentially alert the technocracy as to where I am and what I can do.
Let's go with no.
Okay, yeah. That's fair.
If I had way more setup and advance like prep time, I could probably do some more about that. But just as we are right now, I don't have a lot I can do in that regard.
So what are we doing?
I'd say let's check out billiard stuff just to cross it off the list, because even if it's the obvious one, maybe we'll get lucky and it'll be the obvious right one.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we need to keep an eye on these folks. Keep an eye out for this Lily.
All right.
You said the one that you found was from FIU? Okay, I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah. The real account was from FIU.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out then.
Starlight Diner is on 117th and Kendall Drive. Shooters is off of 127th and Kendall Drive.
Okay.
So you do have a billiard spot down the street from you.
Go to Shooters then? Closest one?
Sure.
Do it.
Okay. Who's riding with who?
I'll ride with Jack.
All right.
You pull up and there's a strip mall. Shooters is on the corner of the one side of the strip mall that has a 2-story. There's a KFC Taco Bell combination. There's a CC's Pizza. There's a bunch of like Ross Outlet and similar. But climbing up the steps to Shooters, because there is no elevator for Shooters. So it's going to be a little slow going. But in the door, there is this clear case with cue sticks for sale, collections of billiard balls and things like that. There's a girl behind the counter, mid-30s, and there's a dozen pool tables. There's like 7 that are being used right now. Most of them are like little trios, little quads of people. There's one big table that has been kind of stunted off into the corner so it doesn't bother anybody else. But it looks like a birthday party. There's balloons that say happy birthday. There's a 2 and a 3, so you don't know if it's 23 or 32. But somebody's having a good time.
Mm-hmm. Do I smell any cigars?
There's vape. You can definitely smell like strawberry. You can smell like a mango, watermelon. You can smell.
It smells like a hookah bar.
Yeah, yeah. But there's no distinct cigar.
Sylvia just says, "Not here."
I'm inclined to agree.
Mhm.
Most likely.
Yeah.
All right, cross it off the list.
Shooters.
Yep.
What's next? Pegs? New wave?
Pegs is down south. Everything else is up north.
Okay.
Now it looks like the next one is New Wave.
New wave is closer than pegs. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So we'll head there.
Okay. New wave is in the corner of a strip mall. There's a Publix. There's Five Guys, burgers and fries. There's a little kind of Japanese, Chinese fusion restaurant. There's a driving school. And in the corner, which takes up the entirety of that corner, is New Wave. Coming in, you'll see that there's about 8 tables to one side. There's a little shoehorn of a front desk, and then there's a square of a bar. It's Monday, so karaoke is happening. And then on the other side, you'll see that there is maybe another 16 tables. It's a big, big spot. It looks packed. There's a bunch of what looks to be students at the bar area. There's somebody singing Slide by the Goo Goo Dolls. Not the best, but
Phenomenal.
But yeah,
Again, any sense of nothing?
No, same kind of like
She might smell some pot residue, but
there is definitely pot residue.
We are talking students, okay?
Yeah, in a setting like that.
Yeah.
And
hey,
it's
she recently, like within the past year or so, graduated from college. She knows.
Yeah. It is it's coming mostly from the door that leads out to the little patio. And I say patio very loosely. It is literally a 6 foot by 12 foot rectangle that has been kind of walled off from the actual pool hall, and just has this sealed door. Like every time that it opens, there's that jet of air. But there's no chairs out there. There's like a fan in one corner and a fan in a different corner to blow the air away from the actual pool hall. But there's somebody smoking like an actual cigarette out there. Eden and Jude, could you give me willpower rolls to not light up? If you don't want to, you can take a break.
Difficulty as standard?
Yep.
That's 4.
Okay. It's been a while, but you're handling yourself.
I'm 3.
3, same thing. You could smoke if you wanted to, but you could hold off.
Eden just hears Jude mutter to himself later.
I'll smoke in the car on the way to the next one.
All right. As we're heading out, because this one's also a bust,
yep.
Sylvie's going to say, I think we should head south to Pegs because weird shit's been reported down south. So
yeah.
Let's go check out Pegs.
Had to be thorough, right?
Dive bar, they probably don't care about who smokes there and what they smoke. So.
Exactly.
Better that we cross the places off the list, though. The one time you don't check, right?
And we check Pegs out, and if that's a bust, then we try the other one another night.
Yeah.
And you'll drive down south, and it's a bit of a drive, so Eden and Jude have a lot of time to kind of enjoy their cigarette, especially after the tease of the patio.
Luckily, the smokers are probably carpooling in the same car, so we don't have to worry about.
Why do you think Sylvia said she'd ride with Jack?
It's entirely on purpose.
In his car, Jude doesn't smoke in his car.
You can smoke in my car. Nice. I don't give a fuck.
Nice. What is currently playing in Jack's car?
Oh.
What's on the playlist?
Van Morrison's playing.
Ooh.
Brown-eyed girl.
Nice choice. You go down south, down US 1. It is like all the way down to 160th, 170th Street. For reference, Kendall is 88th. And you'll see same thing. It's like it's half the size of New Wave. It's maybe like 20, 25 square feet bigger than Shooters. It's got a bar that serves as the counter for renting out the balls and handling everything. But you will see that the back door is completely open, like it's propped open. The front door is propped open. And you will see that there are small little trio of smokers that are talking about the game. One of them has the 3-fingered glove that is a standard of pool players. And out back, you will see that there are 2 robust, kind of rotund gentlemen that sound like they're laughing from a joke. Both of them have a cigar in their hands.
We found it.
Does it smell similar?
If you go towards them,
Hmm.
it has that cigar sensation. It's definitely, all of you notice that it wasn't a refined cigar smell.
Okay.
Not that
Cheap
Sylvia
cut.
would, not that Sylvia could tell the difference, but there is so subtle a difference from like a cheap plant versus a refined and cultivated plant. Like there's a difference between like a Cohiba and a Romeo and Juliet, like vast difference.
Vast difference.
So yeah, it is definitely a cheaper blend.
Well, luckily we've got the perfect excuse to hang around and just listen out. Jude, you want to go smoke real quick?
Sure.
Fantastic.
All right. You want to go in, Sylvia, or you want to hang out?
No, we can go in.
All right.
And the guy behind the counter is maybe in the late 40s, early 50s, scrawny, kind of thin, gangly limbs. But he'll just look over at you. Hey, you want to play or you want to drink? What do you want to do?
Into a bottle.
Okay, you want liquor? You want beer? What do you want? What do you got?
Cerveza.
Okay. You speak Spanish? Habla español?
Enough to get by.
And Jude will just interject. I speak a touch in the most heavily Cuban accent.
Oh, hermano. And he'll produce Coronas.
Oh, gracias, compañero. Beautiful.
Claro. Bobby, go ahí. And he'll pull out the little white scoop dish of lemons. Te pongo limón, ¿qué tú quieres? Un poquito de sal.
No gracias. It's okay.
Okay. Y para ti, flaco. And he'll point to Jack. And
Both.
He will jam a little slice of lemon, a lime into it, and just kind of sprinkle salt on top of it in the mouth.
I want to make sure that he gets those completely and totally washed fingers all over the mouthpiece.
Completely.
Of course.
In a dive bar, yes, they're always obsessed with cleanliness there.
And you'll see that the moment he's done sprinkling the salt on the mouth of the bottle, like he reaches up and just kind of cleans his fingers off on his towel.
Yeah, it's his cleaning spot.
But it's not Clorox white. It is definitely muggy and gray.
Oh.
Yeah, seen some life.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's tough to find a place
Sylvia
you can
will
still
just
smoke
request a soda.
All right. And he would just pull out a little can of Coke.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll just
And
point
she'd
at
actually
Sylvia.
give a really good tip because she knows that
Okay.
he makes his money off the alcohol, but she doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well.
he was about to say something when he was pointing at the two of you, but then when he sees the money, he's just like, okay, está bien.
Don't give me shit. She literally looked at him like, don't give me shit. I'm paying you.
Dude, grab me one of those. And I'll head out back towards the rotund gentlemen who are smoking.
And you hear them talking in Spanish.
Fuck. I don't speak Spanish at all.
Hey, I'm following you. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Maybe
Jude
even
will
indicate
pick
being
up.
mad.
Yeah, Jude will pick up on them talking about a job that they were at and how they had to deal with like a middle management type of guy who was just a huge pain in the dick. But they kind of swallowed it because the money was so good.
Got anything interesting?
Oh yeah, actually, check this out. I'm going to start a conversation, and
Nice.
Jude will head up to them.
Yeah.
He
And one
he
of them will
doesn't
turn
have a
to you.
cigar to smoke, but
Yeah. And one of them will turn to you.
and
¿Está
he,
bien? You okay?
and throughout this whole thing, he'll only speak Spanish to these guys.
Yeah.
But he'll just say, "I actually just had a question. I didn't mean to overhear. I just did, and was wondering if I could ask you guys something.
Yeah, dime, ¿qué pasó?
Who is this guy that was such a jackass for all of that?
Oh,
And anyone that gets talked about like that, you have to find out who they are, you know?
oh, yeah. And one of them will reach into his pocket and pull out a business card.
Jude will look at it.
Yeah, and it's for Renault Industries, but the name on the card is for a Benjamin Warner.
May I keep this?
Oh, sí, claro, bro. Tómalo. Yeah,
Yes.
do it. Keep it, bro. And he'll tell you, it's like, if you're looking for work, he's worth calling, but just be prepared. Tremendo hijo de puta, te dice, and that means just a huge asshole, a
And
huge son of a bitch.
and I'm guessing you guys are talking about this Ben guy, not Renault, right? Because you were saying middle management.
El tipo, sí, the guy. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Oh, what cigars are those, if I may ask?
And he'll show you the little kind of like aluminum cylinder that it came in, which is in a huge red flag for cigar aficionados.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I was just kind of curious, but thank you.
Sí, no te preocupes, papo.
Yeah. Enjoy your night.
Yeah, tú también. You too.
And then Jude will head back towards Eden.
Sounded like unkind words, at least about something. I couldn't really tell.
People bitching about a boss. It's a fucking ancient conversation. But no, their boss turns out to be someone from a certain text message.
Okay. Interesting.
Where'd Jack and Sylvia run off to?
Oh, we're inside.
I ain't fucking
We're at the
out
bar.
here. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And I have rolled just a perception awareness just to see if I get a vibe of anything going on.
There is a couple of restless. They look like people who were victims of crime.
Mm-hmm.
Down south, you are at the very edge of a bad neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
So you know that you're going to encounter some colorful people.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple people. They look older, mid to late 30s, early 40s. Like one of them is looks like he's playing pool. Off in the corner. There's nobody actually playing at that table. It's one of the empty tables. And then the other restless is a woman who is behind the bar, and she's just kind of like just shaking her head every time that the guy does something disgusting, like pouring salt and then kind of rubbing his fingers on his dirty washcloth. But she doesn't look mad. She looks disappointed. She's got that parent disappointment look.
Yeah, she kind of looks to the bartender when he's not busy and says, "Did you inherit this place?"
No. My wife and I, we opened it about 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah. What's your
Yeah.
wife look like?
She's no longer with us, and he crosses himself.
I am sorry for your loss.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You know, she died peacefully. It was.
I kind of glance to the ghost when he says that.
And she takes notice of you,
Mm-hmm.
and she kind of cocks her head at you. But he goes, yeah, she was sick, and to say cancer, and so it was better this way, I think, for her. But she kind of gives him a side eye.
Mm-hmm. And Lydia just kind of makes a smile. She's actually smiling at the ghost, but with the way the ghost is positioned between her and the bartender, it looks like she's smiling at the bartender.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I gotta keep the place going for her and for the kid.
Yeah. How old's the kid?
Oh, 24. He's just celebrated in December.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, pain in the ass, but
as we kids tend to be.
Yeah, do sorry. No, but yeah, the Jude and Eden will see that they're in conversation with the bar, the bartender, and there's a couple of people. This is a lot less populated than the other places you've been to. There's like 3 tables being used out of the 12.
And then I'm guessing a couple people actually just there to be professional drinkers.
Yeah.
There's one old man at the end of the bar who's just sitting with a lowball glass.
Once we finish our cigarettes, you ready to head back in?
Might as well.
Fair enough. And I'll grab him by the wrist and pull him back into the bar.
I'll make sure I pay for me and Jude's beer. Jude, nice beer.
Okay. Yeah, and Sylvia will notice that there is this chunk missing out of her. At least how she pictures herself, as far as like where the kidneys would be. It looks like she had some kind of
renal cancer.
Yep.
Okay.
Sit down next to Sylvie. So, anything interesting?
Always.
And
Eden and Jude will smell not only of cigarette, but definitely of the intermingled cigar.
Oh, yeah. God, y'all reek.
Yeah, I'll wash my
smoke
clothes
menthols. Come on.
They smell worse.
They smell
They do.
better.
That's why I don't
Come
smoke
on.
them.
Not on you, trust me. They smell worse.
See, that's why I only smoke the healthy stuff. You all know Jude smokes like camel.
Of course.
Camel toes?
Yep.
Unfucking real.
At least it's better than the Virginia slimes.
What'd y'all get?
And Jude will actually set the business card on the bar and pass it over to her. That
Jack will look too.
Yeah.
I see the name.
Oh.
Wow, that name keeps popping up.
Repeatedly.
Hey, did you ask what the job site was?
Jude just stands up and goes back to the guys. Shit. Just like doesn't say anything, just immediately as soon as Jack asks, fuck.
Yeah.
I've had that one in the holster for the last 10 minutes.
I thought you were gonna let it slide. I was just like,
I was the same way. I'm like,
perfect question.
We get maybe some questions because I couldn't understand what the fuck you were saying.
Detective Jude asked her, everybody.
Not his bag. Eat your heart out, Holmes.
Yeah, you don't know what's happening.
But yeah, Jude will go back and confirm, hey, totally just realized this beer hit me way faster than I fucking thought. Where do you guys work?
Oh, in Coconut Grove, Papo. Ahí, off of US 1, they tell you, and Grand.
Gracias. Again,
Sí, claro,
thank you.
por la universidad, by the university, he tells you.
Oh, perfecto. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he'll give each of them a handshake and then go back.
Yeah. You know that the only university off of Coconut Grove is UM.
And Jude just plops back into his seat and just very bluntly says, UM.
Okay, so everything's pointing that way. Great.
What time is it?
At this point, it's maybe 11 the latest. Took you a while to get down here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, can take us to get back up
Going
there.
from the north to the south, yeah,
Yeah.
that was a bitch of a drive, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So,
I
Any of
gotta
y'all
work
play pool?
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Alright.
I also have to work tomorrow, fucking unfortunately.
I mean,
Yeah, well.
just a quick Google check. Is there what kind of big construction's going on up that way?
By Coconut Grove,
Mhm.
there's an expansion. There is currently a zoning dispute
Mhm.
because there is a whole neighborhood that has been foreclosed on that some of the bigwigs in the city want to turn into like residential apartments.
Mhm.
But those houses have existed there since like the early 1900s.
Oh wow.
So a lot of them, there's people that are fighting for like that area to be considered a historical site.
Okay.
Maybe
Especially because like
we
down the street from them is the Women's Museum of Miami.
we poke around some of the job sites at UM.
Maybe Benji knows more about it.
Maybe.
If we look up Benjamin, what does he come up as? Because we looked up Julian and he's specific, but does this guy come up with anything?
You find his Indeed page where it says that he is the CFO of Renault Industries.
I'm not talking
Yeah.
about that one. I'm talking about Benji Scott.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, you said Benji, and I thought you were just saying Benjamin.
No.
Okay.
I'm talking about Benji Scott because he's been doing some activist stuff
Mhm.
in that neck of the woods.
Looking out for the neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I should ask, Eden, do you have any colleagues at UM you might be able to tap? Or
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I have a few friends over there who were at the very least initially at Biscayne, but
yeah, I got a
some of
friend
them-
in the engineering school. Maybe I can give her a call.
Yeah, I'll see what I can dig up. What information are we looking for? Just in notice to this
I mean,
this
it's
construction, this individual.
construction. Probably it seemed like that's the thing you would hire people a lot of money for short-term jobs like that.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe they're digging. I don't know. It's probably not the zoning things I saw yet, because it wouldn't be building anything if they're still disputing the zone. So
Yeah, maybe I can get an audit on like the environmental impact or something there, and
Sure.
use that as an excuse.
yeah,
Did Sylvia mention about being curious about Benji Scott out loud, or was that more towards the storyteller?
No, I
Was
said
that-
it to you
yeah.
all.
Okay.
Yeah. Next time I see Benji at the Panther, I'll ask about it. He sometimes stops in. I give him a coffee. He's doing good shit.
Good. You'll have to see it.
Uh,
You really
Jude's
do.
gonna Google what was, because Jude knows that he's heard about this guy. He knows it probably happens a bit.
Benjamin
was the-
Scott.
Yeah, what was the last thing Benjamin Scott was arrested for?
Ooh, that's
Like,
a-
just like, and see if it lines up with like, oh, it's suddenly in that area that we're looking at. Stuff like that. Just seeing if everything is lining up.
Benjamin Scott was last arrested in September and did not face any jail time whatsoever. Like he was released that night, but he was arrested for vandalization of construction equipment in Coconut Grove.
Man after my own heart.
And Jude just shook. See, that barely even feels like a fucking crime.
Yep. He drew a bunch of dicks on
Of course he did.
as is customary.
bulldozers.
Phenomenal content.
It didn't even break the equipment. What are they getting pissy about?
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure it's a little fine.
The pixelated image is not hard to deduce what he did, but he definitely like chose
What does
a medium.
Benji look like?
Benjamin Scott is kind of small. He looks to be about 5'6", 5'5", wiry, muscular, but thin. Tousled black hair, that kind of looks like he's never used product, or that he's used the right kind of product to make it look like he doesn't use product. He's wearing guy liner in the
Of course he
mugshot.
is. Okay.
He's got guy liner on. He's got 2 earrings, a little cross, and then a kind of regular hoop, like a little ring. And then he has a small scar just under the left eye that comes down from like where the cheek starts down to like where the beard would start. The beard line would start normally. Single line. Looks like he's wearing stuff from Forever 21. Like it looks fancy, but it's not fancy. Discount fancy.
Where is this construction site?
In the Grove.
At UM? Or near UM?
No, it's
Okay.
it's near UM.
Okay.
It's off of Grand.
Okay. Might be worth looking into. Okay.
Yeah, we can poke around.
Sylvia
Easy
just looks at the photo again of him and says, yeah, I never mind when he stops by.
Heard about him, never met the guy.
Yep.
Has he been to Gramps? Have I seen him at Gramps?
He has been to Gramps.
Okay.
Yeah. He definitely supports not Edgar Allan Poe's wife. Like he is a fan of Neep W.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's all right. It's all
A
right.
shame.
Posers are everywhere.
Poses,
that's a
bro.
shame.
Posers.
The fans. The band's good. Oh, that means you too. No, I take it back. We're good. We're good.
Yeah.
They do some good songs.
He got a nice sound about him.
Yeah.
It's different. I like different.
Yeah. Benji's always humming like the Cure songs. He's got like Love Song on repeat. He is definitely a man that has like lived in the Cure, In Excess, that kind of like 80s synth adjacent.
I feel that vibe.
Boys don't cry.
Yep.
All right, looks like we have something to poke around then tomorrow. Should we get together?
Like he definitely looks like he would have been one of the vampires in Lost Boys.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
my God.
What a very specific aesthetic.
Beautiful.
How old is he?
Maybe like 25.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so he's
Very
Okay.
nice. All right. Well, I'm just handing out syllabuses tomorrow, so I'm off early.
my boss
I'm off
decided
by
to be
2, but I'm also there at like, butt fuck early in the morning.
Yeah.
my boss decided to be an ass and give me a morning shift for the shop, but that means I usually get out before most of the evening is gone, so I'll be free then.
Sure.
All right. Well, I'm just building a pool table and a sword, so just call me.
Pool
if you need me.
table.
Sword.
Yep.
You're
have
building
homework.
a sword and a pool table. Why are you building a pool table?
My friend wants to play.
Oh, okay.
He's
And why are you
fascinated by
building a
balls and
sword?
sticks. My friend wants me to have one.
Oh, okay.
My
That's-
friend is the best thing for an avatar.
Your
Dude understood immediately.
friend.
Mine just wants me to
wants-
take steps forward, instead of getting stuck. But yeah.
As far as I could
Adam,
tell, mine was
my
mainly
boss.
just reminding me that, hey, I'm by your side.
Yeah,
very
mine
flighty.
reminded me that it could kill me at any moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds
Tamagotchi-
unfun.
The Tamagotchi will actually
it
come
is
to
not
life,
fun.
and you'll hear a little 8-bit version of All-Star.
I think it's time to go.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Thank you, Sparky. All that glitters is gold, and Jude will stand up.
Yeah. But as you go your separate ways for the evening, I think this is a good point to call it for tonight. So thank you guys.
Mhm.
Yes, thank you.
A lot got done.
Mm. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And of course, I'm not going to post it again because it just got posted. You can join us on the Discord. That is where we hang out when we are not streaming. It is also where we post casting calls for our streamed games. And right now, there is an active casting call for Call of Cthulhu 7E, London Esoteric Society, that runs on Saturday afternoons. It's an open and ongoing casting call for guest players. If you are interested in playing Call of Cthulhu, go to our Discord and apply for that casting call. It's in the Casting Couch channel. If you would like to catch back episodes of this stream, you can do so by going to our YouTube. The McStabber Studios YouTube has over 5 years of content, most of which is World of Darkness. There's multiple splats there. You may find a story you're interested in. You can catch back episodes of this one and a variety of other games as well, including other TTRPGs like Independence and other lesser played, more niche games that are a lot of fun. And like we've got some mini series, some one shots, a lot of stuff. And we also have some storyteller tips and streaming tips there for you to peruse as well, because we don't believe in, keeping the secret sauce. We believe in sharing what we've learned the hard way so others don't have to do it. So yeah. And if you go to the London Esoteric Society YouTube, you can go there to check out Tiss's content. She is our streamer who runs Call of Cthulhu right now. She also ran a D&D 5e campaign with us called Ishvel. That is concluded. And she also ran a 7th Sea mini-series in January. That was a ton of fun. But she has a few other games there too, as well as her Call of Cthulhu game that has reached like 106 or 107 sessions at this point. It's been a long story and it's a lot of craziness. A lot of craziness. Yeah, there's been a lot of cheese murder, y'all. But and of course, we have amazing friends that also stream on their own channels, as well as running and playing games with us. Ravenous Archon, what you got going on?
Well, hi, everybody. I run TTRPG stuff on my own channel here on Twitch. I have Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition, Werewolf the Wild West, Scion 1st Edition, Legend of the Five Rings, and 7th Sea. And then every Wednesday, I have infiltrated the splats, every splat here at McStabber Studios. And sometimes on Fridays, I get to play the most handsome bear in Kansas City.
Awesome. And of course, we have Junie Von Esch, who is running a game on Saturday evenings, a Vampire the Masquerade V5 game. And she also plays in a variety of streams that we have. And you can see her on her channel, usually on Saturdays during the day, doing some crafty stuff like crocheting and making trash fires and dumpster fires and bears and all kinds of fun little things with crochet. And she swears a lot, so it is an adult channel, but yeah.
Oh, fuck, really?
She goes full Chicago sometimes.
She goes full Chicago, y'all. And then, of course, we have Mischievous Red, who does do some different creative streaming on Sundays typically, but it is very intermittent when she streams. It based on her availability and her energy levels and such. So if you're a member of our Discord, you can be alerted when she or any other of our friends go live, because we do that on our Discord. And then, yeah, her carrot hole. Oh my God, she made a tiny little carrot, and she's working on a tiny little parsnip. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so fucking cute.
It's so fucking cute. It's got the cutest little smiley face on it. And then, of course, we have Marie Rolls, who also plays in our Kansas City stream and also does appear on occasion in Call of Cthulhu on Saturdays. He runs games on his own channel. Give him a follow and give him some love from the McStabbers. And then DM Daddy RPG is where you can find Jen of Thieves, who also plays in our Kansas City stream on Fridays, which is a Vampire V5 game. And you can check her out when she's running and playing games on DM Daddy RPG. Also, if you would like to support these amazing players, you can do so by showing us your biddies. Yeah. if you give bits or donations to this channel, we do distribute them amongst the players at our table. If you would like to support the channel itself, you can do so by subscribing here on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription a month, or you can donate to our KoFi page, Buy Mama a Coffee. Please, I'm exhausted, y'all.
This whole cast seems to be caffeine drinkers in some way. So
So seriously, but if you cannot do financial support at this time, we completely understand. And we appreciate those that tune in and view us live when we are streaming. But another way that you can support us for free is by going to the YouTube channels that we linked above in our Twitch chat and subscribing to them on YouTube for free. And then any content that you watch on our YouTube channels, make sure that you both, not either, both, like the video and comment on it. That helps boost us higher in the search algorithm on YouTube so that other people looking for content like ours can find it easier. And we appreciate folks that do that. And we do engage with comments there. So do try to do that if you're watching on YouTube. And of course, if you would like to get some studio merch, we do have that as well. You can go to our Zazzle link in chat now and get some amazing merch. Like Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would Camp Counselor t-shirt. Or from our Kansas City Chronicle, Cat's to-do list on a t-shirt or a travel mug. That is kick-ass, checked. Take names, check. Be a dragon, check. Dracula, not checked yet.
Because, bang, bang, in this economy?
Vatty. Come on, Vatty. Yeah, yet.
It's always those certain SPCs with you, isn't it?
It is. But it's different based on the character I'm playing.
Oh, God, what if Beckett's in the city?
Yeah. So that you can check that out there. And coming up over the next week, we have on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, a special intermission session of Vampire the Masquerade V5 Kansas City, A Domain Divided. That's right. We got together with some folks that are guest players and recorded some content for you that will be streamed on Friday evening. That will kind of carry over from last season into the new season starting up next week. And so do join us for that. Then Saturday, let me double check something.
You're playing.
Hang on. I always have to check because I never know what the schedule looks like for certain games. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. We're playing. Okay. Thank you, Urini. I also pull it up on my calendar because I have it on there. Okay. So London Esoteric Society will be playing Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Do join Tiss and her amazing investigators as they do all the sus-ass shit that leads to them learning Cthulhu mythos in around 1907-ish London. Yeah. They do all the shit that they're not supposed to. Like there's books. You know what books do in Call of Cthulhu? Yeah. Bad shit.
They teach.
Yeah.
Even when you don't want to learn.
Yeah. So, yeah. Books. Now, I, Mama, am a voracious reader. I love books. But in Call of Cthulhu, all the books should be burned. Okay. So that's at 3 p.m. Eastern. Do join them for that. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern, join myself and Maddox and Antera as we join Junie Von Esch and others at the Chicago Hidden City table, Vampire the Masquerade V5. Yeah, there's a lot of sus-ass shit going on. We got some Ashfinder Thin Bloods fucking up shit. We got Maxwell fucking up shit because it's set in 2010, y'all. And literally, there's an Assamite, like literally hunting people all over the fucking city that's fucking up shit. There's all kinds of fucked up shit going on. Oh, yeah, and then Annabelle, the primogen of the clan Toreador, is wanting to host a party for certain important people in the city at the Succubus Club. What can go wrong? Everything.
About the only thing Annabelle can do right is host a party, so hopefully not the party itself. Otherwise, what's the point of having her as primogen? Like, fuck.
I know, right? Yep. And then, of course, we'll be back here on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern with the next session of Mage, Magic City Memoirs. Yeah. And lastly, I'm going to tell you, do take care of yourselves, y'all. Mental health is incredibly important. It goes with physical health. It's hand in hand. And if your mental health is suffering right now, I want you to get help. If you have access to a support network or you have a professional that you can speak to, please utilize that. If you do not and you are in crisis right now in chat, there is organizations that we have listed that you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if those organizations do not suit your needs, you are outside of the US or you are watching on YouTube and not in Twitch to see the list that we have in our chat, please go to findahelpline.com. At that site, you can look up by your location what crisis resources are available to you. Please utilize them. That site covers over 140 countries. Please utilize it if you need it. They are staffed with people that want to help you. Allow them to help you if you need it. That's really important because you're not alone. Okay? And also take care of your physical well-being. Get your fucking vaccines. Or as Timber Brad would say, get your fucking shots. Okay? There's no reason why children should be dying from preventable illnesses. There's no reason. Yeah. And so make sure you get your vaccines and take your meds, drink your water, get some sunshine when you can. And if not, take your vitamin D supplement. Yeah. And lastly, I'm going to say, if you are a fascist enabler, you can fuck right the hell off and go to hell. If you did so by voting for it, by abstaining from voting, or by voting third party, go to hell. Literally, so many are already suffering and will continue to suffer because of your actions. And blood is on your hands. Around the world, people are dying because USAID got dismantled. Children are dying. Children. Yeah. So fuck off and go to hell. For the rest of us, we just got to stick it out, y'all. And we got to fight whatever way we can. And we have to speak up. Do not let fucking apologists and fascist sympathizers silence you. Create good trouble, y'all. Create good trouble. Said with love. Y'all have a good night.